Aren't you fed up with migrants coming from primarily Islamic countries, going berserk with knives and slaughtering innocent people on the streets? I am. Hello, my name's Philip Kisserly. These attacks have been much in the news this week. I don't know what you think, but they seem to be getting worse. There seems to be more of them, and it seems to be more frenzied. The atmosphere in this country seems to be getting more desperate. I'm incredibly worried about it. Please tell me what you think. Drop your comments in the comments below. I'd love to know, and we can think about what we actually do about this. Wayne Broadhurst, the guy who was murdered, the poor fellow who was murdered in Uxbridge just earlier this week, was just walking his dog. He was minding his own business. He was completely innocent. He was attacked and butchered in the street. The man who's been arrested is an Afghani migrant. He came over in a lorry a couple of years ago. I want the people who made the decision for him to come over, the people who thought it would be okay for people like him to be on our streets, I want those people to go down for it. I want them to do hard time. I want them to face justice. This is really important. They must face justice. If we are going to get beyond this, if we are going to do something about it, they must know that there are consequences to their actions. We are all, in a way, we are all Wayne Broadhurst, because we are all in danger. Every time we set out on the streets now, we are in danger. I've just come down to London today, and I'm looking around me as I walk around the streets, because it isn't just him. That's one very graphic instance because it was caught on camera. But there's another one as well, someone in Derby, a man called, forgive me here because I might not be able to pronounce it quite correctly, Habi Kabdiraxman Noor. He killed someone called Danny Johal. Danny Johal was a businessman, and he was just stood in a bank going about his everyday business. This Noor character came in. Here he is. Let's have a look at him. One of nature's noblemen there, I'm sure you'll agree. He came in to the bank, went berserk with a knife and killed Mr. Johal outright. Again, he was a migrant. He was from Somalia. He was an alcoholic. He was unhinged. But not only that, he was known by the authorities and the police in 4 other countries. And yet our authorities allowed him to come into this country. They knew, right? They knew what a danger he posed to ordinary people. Yet here he is. Now what's happening? He's just been put away for 25 years. And of course, we have to pay for his board and lodgings. Something terrible is going on in this country, and it's getting exponentially worse. I'm looking through my news feed day upon day upon day, and I'm seeing all of this stuff happening over and over again. People like this character here, just running riot, stabbing people, killing people. And this isn't new, of course. It isn't just violence, it's sexual violence. One story came to my attention this week because it was actually quite close to home. It was from my hometown of Bury. Here we see 2 cousins who led a rape gang in Bury in the late 1990s. They've only just come to justice now. They're only just being punished now, the best part of 30 years later. It's appalling, but that's what happens in this country. They groomed and raped teenagers as young as 13, and if these girls didn't perform the sex acts that they wanted in grotty flats on filthy mattresses. They threaten them with violence, and they threaten them to take them out on the moors and leave them naked on the moors. This is an awful case, but it illustrates one thing. As I say, this stuff has been going on and on for years. There has been a conspiracy of silence around Pakistani grooming gangs. There still is in many ways, because this is going on. Yes, some people come before the courts and they get punished, but I bet a whole load of them don't. And it is up to us to be vigilant, to keep an eye out, and absolutely scream all of this stuff from the rooftops, because the elite, the left, the people in charge, the politicians, they just want to push it away. Okay, they don't want any trouble with Islam, and they certainly don't want any trouble with the ordinary law-abiding people of this country. So they would just rather young girls and women be in danger, be raped, be abused, be murdered, rather than deal with it. So we must shout this stuff from the rooftops. In a way, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing this today. But it's still going on, as I say. There are a couple of instances here. I'm not going to mention the names because I don't want to soil this video with them. But this creature raped 3 girls by a seaside town and preyed on them on social media as well. There's another one here. This is a paedophile who was exchanging images of preteen children and children who were under 10. He's now gone to prison. It seems as though this stuff is happening all the time. It feels as though something really needs to be done about it. It feels in a way that there's an epidemic of rape and child abuse. And the worst thing we can do, I've said this before, but the worst thing we can do is just look at it, click on it and move on and try and forget it. We really mustn't try and forget it, because it's ramping up, and it isn't just abuse and murder. There's all sorts of different kinds of rhetoric surrounding this, which is really anti-white, authoritarian. Take this, for example, which I just saw today. Racist thug walks free. Look at him. Man escapes jail after spitting in a 9-month-old baby's face and screaming at a stunned mum, "White people shouldn't breed." Now, there is an awful lot of this. Okay, the people on the left will say, well, he's from an underprivileged background. They will just assume that. He might not be, but they will say he's from an underprivileged background, so he can't be racist. Yes, he can, and he's brown, so he can't be racist. Of course he can. This violent behaviour to a tiny child, and again, there's the theme there. It is about children. It's about attacking children, and it's about attacking women. This is racist. This is aggravated racial abuse. But what happens? Of course, he goes free. So there is something going on which is about race, as I say, and it's also about wanting to change the culture of this country. It's attacking the West, it's attacking Britain, and it's trying to impose really essentially an Islamic and brutal authoritarian culture on our democracy. The problem is we've let this happen. We've let it slide for years and years and years, decades, as I say. It's only now that the Berry gang are being brought to justice, and that happened 30 years ago. We have a real problem here. I just wanted to finish with this awful bit of footage that some of you may have seen, actually. Journalist Charlotte Gill shared it the other day, and I shared it as well, and it went very big, mainly because it's just appalling. And it's symbolic in a way. It really shows what our country has become. It's from Covent Garden, and it's only a few seconds long, but watch it and see what you think. Yes, that's someone defecating in the street in Covent Garden. As I say, it's symbolic. That is essentially what they are doing to our country. And this isn't just a one-off. If this was just a one-off, it'd be, that's revolting. But it isn't. I was in Manchester a couple of months ago, and I saw exactly the same thing, although it was in a doorway, actually, but it was someone defecating in a doorway. It feels as though we're under all sorts of pressure, okay? We are physically in danger, okay, from physical attacks and sexual attacks. Our children and our wives and the women in this country are particularly being targeted, okay? That is a kind of warfare. But there's something else as well. If we allow this kind of stuff to continue, if we allow it just to flourish in the way that it is, if we listen to all the excuses for this stuff, and if we allow them to shut us up, then we lose something of our dignity, I think, because this is undignified behaviour. My God, this is un-British. We should not let this be happening on our streets, because when it does, we lose something of the control we have over our own country. We lose something of the culture, the dominant culture, which is British, which is Western. We simply do not do this. This is not Bangladesh or Afghanistan. We need to put our foot down. So we need to look at the whole thing, whether it's rape, whether it's child abuse, whether it's murder, and we need to put a stop to it. I said earlier that the only way to do that is to hold the people responsible to account. Now, that's the people who commit the crimes, obviously. Now, they need to be deported or they need to be put in prison. All of those kinds of things, and their families need to be deported as well if they have them. But I'm talking about the politicians, I'm talking about the mandarins, I'm talking about the officials, I'm talking about the people who make these decisions to allow these people into our country and allow them to stay. And as we saw this week, we're actually paying them to go away, paying convicted criminals, convicted rapists, convicted abusers to leave the country. We should not be doing that. We should just be getting rid of them. So there is something here which is very important, and I would really like your opinion on it. What do we do? How do we go about this? We must have some kind of lobby. We must be vocal in demanding that the people who are responsible for this have some kind of comeuppance. That's the way forward. What I'm doing now is thinking about where we go from here, because it does feel as though we do have some momentum. It isn't all terrible, but by the same token, we are under threat and we do need to do something about it. It's worth repeating. It's a kind of mantra in a way, because if we don't do that, we really are in trouble. Let's grasp the nettle. Let's feel kind of confident, and let's care about our country and what we do, and let's push forward. Let's stop this abuse. Let's stop these people coming into the country, and let's punish the people who allow it. Thank you.
Hello, please excuse this brief interruption, but I'd be really grateful if you could please hit the subscribe button and subscribe to our channel. Our mission is vitally important, and we must grow this channel to ensure that our content reaches the biggest possible audience. The best way to do this is for you to subscribe. It's totally free. And in addition to subscribing, if you're able to donate or join our membership scheme, please click on the link in the description or visit our website, newcultureforum.org.uk. We've got great plans ahead, but we can't do it without your support. From only £4 per month, you'll receive a range of perks and benefits, including exclusive content. Thank you.